Now at 10, murder charges for the suspect in a November shooting death in NEOSHO, Missouri. Plus, Fort Scott firefighters rescue a woman and a child from an apartment fire. And a Kansas woman takes action and helps bring her friend's new child into the world.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The Newton County prosecutor files murder charges against a man accused in a shooting death. This is KOAM News at 10. The prosecutor charged Cameron Stotts with first-degree murder and armed criminal action. Investigators say Stotts shot and killed Alexis Guajardo Perez on November 9th. You can read more about the crime on our website. That's KOAMnewsnow.com. A woman and child who were trapped in a fire in this Fort Scott apartment building are safe after a rescue. The fire broke out this morning in a second-story unit at the Highland Apartments on Shepherd Street. Firefighters managed to get the woman and child out through a bedroom window. Crews evacuated the entire building and contained the fire to the one unit. No injuries were reported. The fire department tells us the Red Cross is helping people who were displaced. 4-staters know, Doug Heddy, that this weather is not typical for December around here.
No, it's kind of crazy. Really, since the first week of November, in general, our temperatures have been above average, not just above average, way above average. So for about 5 weeks now, we've had most of our days fairly warm. 68 today. Look at our normal high. It's 48. We started at 52, which is higher than our average high for this time of the year. It's going to stay mild tonight. It's going to stay mild again as we head into the daytime hours tomorrow. We do have some clouds sneaking through, nothing really underneath the clouds, but we're watching our next storm system brewing out to the west across the western parts of the Rockies, and this system will start to affect us as we head into the daytime hours tomorrow. Now ahead of it, look at our temps. We're pretty much at our overnight lows. We're hanging out into the mid-60s due to very strong southerly winds, which are going to stay in place tonight into tomorrow. So we're going to hold into the 60s up to 73 tomorrow. Thunderstorms tomorrow evening. We're going to discuss that here in just a bit.
We'll see you then. Thanks, Doug. Crowder College in Neosho has a new president. The college today made the announcement on Facebook. Dr. Katricia Pearson will take on the role on January 13th. Dr. Pearson is currently the president of East Central University in Ada, Oklahoma. The current Crowder president, Dr. Glenn Coltharp, will stay on as an advisor until his retirement on June 30th. A couple in Kansas has welcomed the newest addition to their family, their newborn son, Miles. But the child's entry into this world was anything but typical. The surprise delivery played out on the side of an interstate in a pickup truck. Joe Baker reports.
Bo and Michelle Drexler's baby boy Miles wasn't due for 3 more weeks at the time, but when Michelle started having mild contractions,
we kind of raced to the truck and we're like, okay, this is probably the real deal.
Michelle had help from friend and co-worker Aminda Bruner. The journey began in Ellis. The plan was to head straight to the Rooks County Hospital in Plainville in Aminda's pickup. But within minutes of leaving her house, Michelle's water broke while on I-70. They pulled over and called 911. But baby Miles was determined, and I-70 is where he would be born. And here is where Miles was born, just east of the exit 153 sign, heading east towards Hayes.
As soon as we saw that he was healthy and had 10 fingers and 10 toes, the whole reality of the situation set in. But just seeing him and hearing him cry, it was like, okay, we just did this.
And for Dad, well, he thought he was being pranked.
My sister and I both were like, they're playing a YouTube video or something in the background, because it was silent for a little bit, other than a little bit of cry in the background. And then when Aminda got on and the panic in her voice was like, oh no, like, we gotta go.
Never in my wildest dreams would I ever imagine, delivering my best friend's baby, let alone on I-70 in my truck.
And for Grandma,
when you think back of it, you're just in disbelief that your grandbaby was born on the side of the interstate.
It's a happy birthday. According to the family, the mother and newborn son are doing well. Oklahoma tribal leaders say Governor Kevin Stitt's decision to not renew hunting and fishing license compacts with the Cherokee and Choctaw nations is part of an ongoing dispute. The tribes and the governor have been at odds over issues including a U.S. Supreme Court ruling regarding criminal jurisdiction and casino compacts. The 2016 licensing compacts provided hunting and fishing licenses to the Cherokee and Choctaw nations at little or no cost to the tribal citizens. A Stitt spokesperson says Stitt believes all Oklahomans should be treated equally. There's some encouraging data on a new COVID-19 pill as the U.S. marks 1 year since the first person received a vaccine against the virus in this country. And more than a third of Americans remain unvaccinated. Skylar Henry reports from Washington.
I think it can be available this month.
1 year after its first COVID-19 vaccine shot was given in the U.S., drug maker Pfizer says its antiviral pill could soon be available in the fight against the virus.
Vaccines are needed. People need to prevent getting sick. They should not take chances that they may not get seriously sick because there is a pill that could treat them.
Appearing on CBS Mornings, Pfizer's CEO says the treatment is nearly 90% effective in reducing the risk of hospitalization or death in high-risk unvaccinated adults if taken within 3 days of the first COVID symptoms. Lab results also showed the drug worked against the Omicron variant, expected to dominate U.S. cases in the coming weeks. The U.S. is now averaging 120,000 new COVID cases a day. Nationwide, more than 800,000 Americans have died due to the virus since the pandemic began.
We're really trying to encourage people to get that boost to bolster their protection so that they're ready should they encounter the Omicron variant.
Congressional leaders held a moment of silence outside the Capitol Tuesday to honor those lost.
God bless America.
As COVID-19 cases continue to surge in the U.S., the latest CBS News poll finds nearly 1/3 of Americans who are vaccinated have no plans to get a booster shot, in spite of evidence that regular vaccinations are not enough to protect against the Omicron variant. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
More than 200 million Americans are now fully vaccinated, and more than 3/4 of the eligible population have received at least one dose. The U.S. COVID-19 death toll, it's now topped 800,000. Still ahead, President Biden gets set to travel to Kentucky to survey the damage left by Friday's deadly tornado. And we'll meet the Joplin man improving his neighborhood and his health. The official death toll in last week's tornado outbreak now stands at 88, but more than 120 people are still unaccounted for. Anthony Purra reports.
In Kentucky, survivors gathered for a candlelight vigil on Tuesday night as the search for victims continues.
We have people missing. I still expect that we will find at least some more bodies. There is just so much destruction.
First responders have been scouring the debris since the swarm of tornadoes struck Friday night. They're bracing for the worst while looking for any sign of life.
If we find a body, it's going to be a bad day. If they find a body, it could be very well be a neighbor, friend, family, loved one. It would be an excruciatingly bad day.
Danny Miller's brother and his wife were among those killed.
They lived in a double one that just exploded, I reckon. They said they was found outside the house, laying on their sides, facing each other.
The Twisters also claimed the lives of more than a dozen children.
If there's good news, it's that our death count has not gone up since yesterday, and that is good news.
Federal disasters have been declared in several states. President Biden will travel to Kentucky on Wednesday to see the damage firsthand. Anthony Purra, CBS News, Los Angeles.
The cost of living in the U.S. continues to shoot higher, and that means rising rent for many Americans. According to Move.org, average rent has increased more than 5.5% over the past year in the 75 most populated U.S. cities. 19 cities, largely on the West Coast, saw prices shoot up more than 10%, while 16 major cities saw rent decline. Later, the Pittsburgh Purple Dragons take on Independence in their SEK League opener. We'll have highlights in sports.
Plus, it looks like our temperatures are going to stay mild, but also some thunderstorm chances. We're going to look at that coming up. Definitely turned out to be a mild, very windy day for us today. A lot of clouds across the region, but overall, really nice day for the middle of December. As temperatures about 20 degrees above where we should be for this time of the year. Still looks okay out there right now, except the winds are going to stay strong throughout the overnight hours. Nice shot, live shot, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Of course, Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. We do have a lot of clouds, but we're not really going to see any rain throughout the overnight hours. Watching our storm system for tomorrow, have another one on Friday. A system moves in on Christmas Eve. As of right now, it looks like mainly rain, but something we want to watch. Bigger system on the 28th through the 30th. So right after Christmas, much better shot for snow. Of course, you can get my long-range forecast on my month-long blog, KOAMnewsnow.com. Look at the temps. We're sitting into the mid-60s, which is crazy for this time of night. Southerly winds keeping those temperatures up. We have sustained winds out of the south at about 15 to 25, and then gusts have been quite a bit higher than that. Most of our wind gusts kind of sitting in that 30 to 40 mile per hour range, and these are actually going to crank up a little bit for us as we go into the daytime hours tomorrow. Currently outside, sitting at 67, south winds 22. We're dry up top, humidity kind of high at about 81%. A lot of clouds skirting through. We can't rule out a random sprinkle throughout the overnight hours. We're starting to gain some moisture from the Gulf of Mexico ahead of this storm system. Much stronger storm system. Look at the jet stream dipping all the way down in Southern California, something that we have not seen much of over the past 4 or 5 weeks, but we're entering that part of the pattern. Over the next 4 or 5 weeks, we see a lot of these storm systems, so we get stronger storm systems into the region. The bulk of this energy is going to shoot across the northern plains, but it will drag a cold front through, and ahead of that front, we're going to get a little line of thunderstorms that drop in for us tomorrow evening. Colder air filters in behind that. All the heavy snow stays well to the north across the northern plains. Closer look, let's go hour by hour through the overnight hours tonight. Just clouds, random sprinkles, not a big deal. We kind of hold steady into the mid-60s. If you're getting up early, 7:30, upper 60s. We warm into lower 70s. Again, very similar to today. Windy, a lot of clouds, random sprinkles. 70 by noon, high temp, 73 south winds, 15 to 25, gusts stronger than that. Let's move into the evening hours. We'll stop at 7 p.m. Thunderstorms develop. Western counties, and then work off toward the south into the east. Should get into the metro 9 to 10 p.m. Some of these could be strong or low-grade severe. When I say low-grade severe, we're talking about winds gusting around 60, maybe some quarter-size hail. Don't really see a tornado threat in these, but still something we want to keep our eyes on. They'll continue to work through. Here's about midnight, mainly along and south of Interstate 44, and then pretty much out of here by the time we head into Thursday morning. Now, ahead of this storm system, we still have to the winds to deal with. Winds gusting 30 to 40 all night long, and then 40 to 50 throughout the daytime hours for us tomorrow, which is kind of crazy. 73 tomorrow, 58 Thursday, 60 a few showers on Friday. Cooling down, clearing out by the time we head into the weekend. If you do have any trash cans laying around your house right now, if they haven't blown away, you might want to put them in the garage.
And the lawn furniture.
Yeah.
And the pets and the kids.
Yeah, little small dogs or cats, they may fly away.
Wow, yeah, really windy. Thanks, Doug. There's a man in the Greenwood area south of Joplin who's taking time to clean up his neighborhood. His name is Larry Ross, but he goes by the litter getter. Yeah, I said getter. I think that's better than getter in this case. It started as a way to get some exercise and to get healthier. Photojournalist Ty Parks caught up with him and has more.
I woke up September 13th of this year I just couldn't breathe. And so I spent 2 trips to the emergency room and a couple of trips to some specialists and decided to get out and walk. And the first day I couldn't walk to my mailbox. 5 days later I was walking to Shoal Creek and back from my house, which is a jaunt. And now it's nothing to walk 3 miles picking up trash. I was going from a walk and just glanced in the ditch and became totally disgusted with all the trash in my ditch on my road. And so I went to the Joplin Special Road District and said, hey, can I get some bags or something? And they said, absolutely. I'm a lot healthier. I'm not looking for any glorification. What I want is to bring recognition to the problem of litter. Litter is everywhere. And if I could just get one individual to grab a trash bag from under the kitchen sink, go out in front of his house and pick it up, and I'd be happy. But I'd like to have 1,000.
Thank you, Larry. Larry says he covers about a 12-mile stretch of road. He also set out some trash cans along the road for people to throw away their trash. Coming up in sports, the Carl Junction girls play for a spot in the McDonald County Tournament Championship, and the Pittsburgh boys hit the floor for their SEK League opener against Independence. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
The Pittsburgh Purple Dragons play their SEK League opener tonight against Independence. On the girls' side, earlier tonight, it was Independence starting their league schedule with a 58-38 win. As for the boys, the Purple Dragons aim to earn the split and win their third straight against the Bulldogs. Mason English, monster first quarter. Pull up three from the right side, then same thing from the other side. Finally driving and the foul. English 18 points in the first quarter alone. Dragons up 9 the second quarter. Look at this, Easton Ewing. Big putback jam, Indy within 5 at halftime. To the third quarter now, Brecken Birdie, 3 for the Bulldogs to make it a one-possession game, but Pittsburgh would close this one out. Jackson Turnbull inside, gets the finish. Then back to Mason English. He scores a game-high 30 tonight. Pittsburgh tops Indy in their conference opener 60-48. CNC League tonight, Colgan at home against Baxter Springs. Now the Colgan girls win 54-19 to get to 4-0 this season. Lily Brown scores 23 for the Panthers. Now in the boys game, nice win for Baxter Springs. They take down Colgan 50-47. Well, tonight is semifinal night at the Lady Mustang Classic at McDonald County High School. Now we have one local team still alive on the championship side of the bracket in the Carl Junction Bulldogs. Now tonight, CJ faces Fort Smith Southside, with the winner earning a spot in the title game tomorrow night. That one is final. CJ gets a 52-32 win. The Bulldogs move on to face Bentonville West in the tournament championship tomorrow night. The Pittsburgh State Gorillas return to MIAA play tomorrow night against Lincoln. Now on the women's side, Pitt State is 7-2 to start the season, including a 3-1 mark in conference play. Now on the other side, the Blue Tigers looking for their first league win, heading into the matchup 0-3 against MIAA competition. Now for Pittsburgh State, a lot of things are working right now. They're shooting it pretty well, they trust each other, and the team chemistry is pretty good too.
I think our bond this year is one of the best bonds I've had since I've been here with a lot of my teammates. I think, yes, we have fun, but we're also pretty serious and we compete every single day. But there's always that good little bond that we have going.
I feel extremely blessed this year. I really do. Just feel really excited for this group. Yeah, I'm a little emotional about it just because I just feel a lot of trust with them. I trust them, they trust me, and I think that it's very evident that they play for each other.
On the men's side for PSU, they're looking for a much-needed win tomorrow night against Lincoln. Pitt State has lost 3 games in a row, sitting at 2-8 overall through 10 games. Now, part of the problem right now, they're not shooting it that well lately, and they have about 4 guys out with injury, making it pretty tough to find a rhythm.
It's been hard because, a lot of times you don't even know who's going to be available for practice. We have to be more consistent for 40 minutes. I mean, we might be good for 10 and awful for 5, well, those 5 kill us, so good teams have to be able to play 40 minutes, and certainly that's what we're working to do.
Girard head football coach Neil Philpott has been selected to coach in the 2022 Kansas Shrine Bowl. Now, Philpott will serve as an assistant coach for the game next summer in Pittsburgh. Now, this season, no doubt a special one for Philpott and the Trojans. He led the team to their first undefeated regular season since 1999. The team finished with a 10-1 overall record, a district title, and a regional championship. The 2022 Kansas Shrine Bowl, by the way, will be on July 23rd at Carney Smith Stadium in Pittsburgh. And that's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
We take time now to honor a local veteran. Petty Officer First Class Randall Kiger served in the U.S. Navy. His hometown, Nevada, Missouri. And we are proud to salute Petty Officer First Class Randall Kiger. He's tonight's four-state hero. A Joplin nonprofit will be able to better serve women in our community with a new facility. Loving Grace cut the ribbon on that new Joplin facility today. It's called Dora's House. It's a maternity home for young women aged 17 to 24 who are pregnant or parenting a child under the age of 1. Loving Grace is a nonprofit. It helps young women in crisis in the Joplin area. Watered Gardens today doled out some cash following its annual Empty Bowls fundraiser event. The event pairs local artists with local food makers. The artists create bowls, the cooks fill them with soup, and then folks like you buy the bowls and the soup, all while helping local charities. Well, this year that process netted more than $28,000. 20 restaurants took part, donating 5 gallons of soup for the event. More than 1,000 bowls and 500 bowl koozies were sold, benefiting Mission Joplin, We Care of the 4 States, Watered Gardens, and Hope Kitchen. Well done. Congratulations to everyone who received from that and everybody who contributed as well. It's going to be windy and possibly tomorrow. I know you can be looking at the possibility of some severe weather tomorrow evening.
Yeah, it's definitely going to stay windy tonight, windy all day tomorrow. In fact, the winds pick up even a little bit more. Winds gusting 40 to 50 at times. Near record high 73 evening thunderstorms. So if we're looking, our western counties about 7. Be out of our viewing area by midnight. The metro kind of in that 9 to 11 range. So we're going to have to watch that. A little bit cooler Thursday, some showers Friday, and then cooling down for the weekend.
Final sports notes.
Chris Jones on the COVID list for the Kansas City Chiefs. Of course, quick turnaround this week. They play Thursday night against the Chargers.
That's not good.
He is possibly the best player on
Yeah.
our defense. One of the best, for
Don't
sure.
disagree.
Thanks for joining us. We're going to leave you tonight with a look at the drive-through Christmas light show at Katy Park in Chanute, Kansas. Let's make it a great tomorrow.